Hello, I'm Alicia from Greenlight Healing. I'm an energy healer and tarot reader, and today I'll talk a little bit more about emotional release. I like to do emotional clearing techniques in as many of my sessions as possible because we're having emotional responses to things many times a day. It's energy that is very easy to accumulate, and I'm talking about stuff that we haven't assimilated or processed or expressed very well. Those kinds of things can eventually make us feel bad. So in terms of emptying a bin, that kind of metaphor, if once you do that, you have more capacity to deal with new things. Emotional release can happen spontaneously. It's not a very reliable thing, but that's also sometimes when people notice it the most. And the kind of stereotypical example would be somebody in a yoga class or having a massage or some kind of body work, and they have maybe they feel tearful for no apparent reason, or they feel angry or some kind of other emotion. The emotional parts of our brain are actually very well connected with the parts of our body like our organs and our muscles. So that is helpful information because sometimes going via the body is a really good and effective way to kind of deal with emotions. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. Our emotional brain is not as well connected with the parts of our brain that deal with logic and language and that kind of stuff. But if you want to read more about that, there's a great book called Healing Without Freud or Prozac. But there's quite a lot of other research on that now. There are some self-care sort of, personal practices that you can use to kind of keep your emotional energies flowing as best you can. And those would be things like, and by the way, I should say different things work for people at different times. So if something used to work and doesn't, you might just need to try something else. If something doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean emotional release is not for you. It might just mean this technique is not good for you, or it's not good for you now, or you just need to try something else. Or maybe you need the help of a practitioner. So I mentioned the body. Okay, doing things via the body. A lot of people sort of manage their stress by exercising and moving the body in whichever way you like. It could be yoga, it could be something vigorous like running or, martial arts. For the same reason, people might like to get regular massages or something like that because it helps just kind of keep their system balanced. Under a bigger heading, I would say stop distractions or give yourself some space away from distractions. And that could be something as easy as checking in with yourself, turning your phone off at certain times. It could be talk therapy. It could be a self-practice of journaling or contemplation. It could be meditation or, anything you might file under the heading of quiet time. And I don't mean reading a book or watching, watching something. I mean real quiet time where you kind of have space for these other things to come up and get your attention. Maybe even a long walk would do that as well. If you're up for a retreat, that could help as well. I just don't think it's the most practical thing for most people to do regularly. I also like affirmations. Something like, there's one by Louise Hay, which would be, I release X, I deserve Y, and I accept it now. For example, I release my feelings of anger, I deserve peace and calm, and I accept it now. Something like that. I also quite like flower remedies. This is a Australian bush flower essence. Yes, space clearing, skin and space mist. So this is a room spray basically, or a body spray. You can get other ones that are oral drops, and there's, obviously Australian bush flower essences are not the only ones. There's many different brands, and they are there for emotional care and well-being. So if you're feeling certain types of emotions, you may be able to release them or peacefully as well with flower essences. sometimes the you may have a more dramatic experience, or you might have a night of bad sleep or something like that, but overall you're kind of processing and eliminating energies that aren't really necessary or useful to you anymore. So I really like flower essences. Also, our subconscious does drive a lot about our experience in life. So, and also that is not something that you can just journal, because we're not really aware of it. You could try tarot readings either for yourself or with a professional, especially somebody who knows how to find what's lying beneath all this stuff, or what's lurking there that I need to deal with. It's not always negative, it's just sometimes about understanding yourself better. But things like hypnotherapy can do a lot with the subconscious, as well as other types of energy healing. Of course, I'm going to put kinesiology in there, because I do emotional release, like I said, in as many of my sessions as possible. And it's one of the things that helps people either understand themselves better, they understand why they're feeling maybe not so great now and where it came from. Is there a pattern in their life that's repeating? That kind of stuff. But lots of other types of practices are there to deal with emotions. EMDR is another great one: eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. Even acupuncture, acupressure, and reflexology can kind of address emotional stuff as well. So don't limit yourself, but just, you have a lot of options. And if things that you're doing yourself are not working, then it's probably time to look to somebody else for help. I hope that's been informative. My information's below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.